Yo, what's up guys, welcome back, next match Cross-Banlist Cup. So let's zoom in left side of the bracket again. So both these decks already lost their matchup, and I believe this is a matchup between two decks that are, you know, almost a certainty in basically any edition of the Cross-Banlist Cup series, or at least some, you know, variations of the core of the deck. So we have Chaos versus Tengu plans, and I can't remember, but this might be a rematch from, years ago I think, but vague memories, but I think Tengu Plans won that one, but again, correct me if I'm wrong. If you take a look at the votes from the people from the community tab, sometimes I read, never vote against Chaos. That's, well, to some extent I could agree. I mean, as I've mentioned multiple times before, it's basically banlist deck, so it has access to pretty much every banned card nowadays, but also of course pre-Yata cards. So that's of course superb. It's really strong. So Chaos going first against Tengu Plant, and that a Sangan as a 6th draw, that's huge. This is, by the way, Crush Card Fibers pre-errata, as you know. Like when Crush Card was first released, I believe it was it like a Shonen Jump promo, like for YCSs or Shonen Jumps, and it was like one of the best cards back then. If you were able to Crush Card your opponent, you basically won the game. And if I remember correctly, when it was like released to the public, mass released, I believe it was one of the Gold series, right? It was a super hard to get card, but again, because of this, it was so game-breaking. Pre-errata Crush card is ridiculous. So anyway, getting the Reaper on board as well, I believe forcing out Thaler, I think so. Yeah. Having Sangan, but okay, that Mirage of Nightmare is indeed going to get destroyed due to the Mystical Space Typhoon. So now I'm not forced to, discard at random, since these discards off of Mirage are indeed at random. We knew the Sangan, or at least both Sangans here in the previous turn, I think, were able to trigger due to, what was it? I still have Darkhold in hand, so it's not Darkhold. Maybe Black Rose or something like that, or I might miss something, but it's fine though. So okay, Magician of Fate gets back the Graceful Charity. No Mirage, because that one was destroyed previously, but again, I can just rack up the advantage, and this should be more than enough to attack for a game. That Raigeki, I mean, Catester is fantastic. Most of the synchros kind of power crept the formats before, when they were released. Stuff like Stardust, Catester, Trishula, Brionic, they were really broken for their time being. Well, broken, like really overpowered, depends, right? At what synchro you're looking at. So again, Mirage, and this is going to be a very slow duel. That Sangan again cannot be used for synchro material, as you know, because it was summoned off of Tour Guide. Try to get something going with Breaker. Maybe the small plan was to attack over Tengu first and then use the token, or maybe, just attack over the Tour Guide or something like that. But Bottomless says no, and again, not drawing any of those Mystical Space Typhoons to, pop my own Mirage and keep my hand. It depends if my hand, was good enough, but keep drawing those monsters like here, again, not the best. Like normal summoning Kiko is maybe the best in set Ring of Destruction, in case if I have the Mystical Space Typhoon already set or in hand. So here, like, look at this turn. Crush card the entire field plus hand, and then use Torrential Tribute to blow in the entire board, and I believe that indeed was the last Reborn Tengu, so no special summons off of that. But again, not able to draw into those Mystical Space Typhoons, so I still need to discard the same amount of cards that I just drew. Is it during your opponents then I face? I think so. Here the Levier, the Levier is iffy. I guess you just go for like Levier and then maybe special summon my Banish DD Warrior Lady, and then Crash and Banish. Something like that, not giving your opponent the potential light in the graveyard. Here I guess you're kind of wasting the Lone Fire. Was it Lone Fire that was special summoned off of the Banished pile? Can't remember. At least I forgot, but it is what it is. So Livier still stays face up on the field, and you know, I can't get something going. The Crush card hitting BLS, that's big. Drawing 4, and hopefully the 5th card here during the draw phase is finally another Mystical Space Typhoon. So again, the Goat plus Metamorph set is of course very, very solid. Draw BLS, discard 4 at random, the Monster Reborn is kept in hand, so that's sweet. Together with Demok, that was one of the most OP broken 2-card combos, you know, from back in the old school days. So get his Thunder King. I mean, against the Synchro heavy deck, no searches as well, going for T-King is fantastic. And again, draw 4, finally the Typhoons. And this, you know, should, I mean, reveal Typhoon and go into the battle phase, and this should be GG, right? The DC. It is what it is. So 2-0, but now going second, and my opening hand not the best, very similar to the first opening hand, but that first opening hand had stuff like Pot of Greed, Graceful Charity to, you know, replenish your dead cards. So going second this time, and if Plants or Tengu Plants opens up 1-for-1 Dandy, then that's not good news. It gives the deck multiple draws, and you know, depending on if they have any extenders, they can draw into even more cards, plus the potential Black Rose play during my turn. No Black Rose play, I definitely could have expected it, but I guess, you know, waiting on your draw, it's not too important, right? At least you're not playing around Solemn Warning or something like that. That wasn't, you know, available back for Chaos. And here I, you know, seeing the replay now, the Reaper definitely would have been a good choice. But I guess Trishula is fine as well. You can banish, I believe, the only Dark in my graveyard for a potential Emperor or BLS, plus 1 card in my hand. So Trishula, I guess, is fine as well. Set Mirror Force, BLS is not live, Monster Reborn is not the best here in this situation, so it's not looking too great here in the 3rd game for Chaos. Having Livier is always nice, I guess, you know, Livier getting back on all of your banished plans like Dandelion or Spore or, you know, Bulb if they were banished. This is not game sitting on, and that's it, you know, the thing I've spoken about previously or earlier is, you know, Stardust. It hits Mirror Force, it hits Bottomless, it hits Torrential, Darkhole, Geki, those old school Mass Destruction cards, and that Chaos, that was a filthy top deck. Otherwise, the Ancient Fairy Dragon, how much defense? Like 3k? Especially with those dead tokens. I don't think there's too many out. Enemy Controller is one of them, and of course Chaos. Okay, so game number 4, and this, ooh, this was so delicious. Look at this one. This is prime Chaos. Look at this. Okay, worst case scenario, indeed, a Reborn Tengu, and then, you know, I think I have to banish to at least burn through 1 Reborn Tengu. But the 6th card, well, another card, Metamorph. That's a cool one. So I decided to, you know, duster the face down, hit Judgment, that's cool, and now it's, you know, time for some Scientist shenanigans. That was my plan. Get out Baltar and, you know, more of the Baltar into another Baltar, something like that. Veiler says no though, so I can recover quite easily. Scientist is level 1, so you can go for 1000 times Restrict and keep, you know, it on the field. It's the only monster that can attack. Again the Foolish, again that's not good news. Something like Chaos could get in for some big damage, but luckily no Chaos. So Formula Synchron, that's not a big threat. And again, like ending on the Librarian, again not that threatening, right? We can force that out, a potential Black Rose play. Like, again, use Priority to go for Scientist, use 1000 Ice Restrict, Priority again, targeting the Hyper Librarian, and, you know, Formula Synchron, if you want, you can chain. But now the Black Rose misses timing. I mean, if you want to use Black Rose, that is. But again, yeah, it misses timing either way, so I can, you know, Tribute Summon for Demok, making sure that I go for Rio Senshi first, negates any normal trap by, you know, paying 1000 life points. And then Emperor going for damage, and again pre-errata Emperor coming in clutch in main phase 2, using the effect, pay 1k, and you know, deal the burn damage, and eventually this is Chaos game for, you know, GG, well played. But whew, Chaos from these duels, so filthy with all the banned cards, a big force, right? So next matchup, interesting one as well. Again, also on the left side we have Adamantibators, one of the previous winners of the Cross-Banlist Cup, but you know, the deck list was a bit different. It's going to take on Inferno Knights, also a deck prime, you know, COVID format, ridiculous, both Link Cross decks, right? So again, feel free to leave your predictions. Okay, guys, that's it. Thanks for watching, feel free to leave a comment or like if you enjoyed the video. Leave signing out. Peace.